No, but now we are live. Hello, magpies, and welcome to this very professional and very well prepared Dungeons and Dragons campaign. My name is Vikos. It is a pleasure to meet you, and here are our very special players. Say hi, special players.
Hi, special
Hi,
players.
special players.
Okay, we got some Dimension 20 fans in here, I see.
How could you tell?
Guilty.
That's good. That's good. I'm a big fan of Brennan Lee Mulligan's style. I'm also even than Matt Mercer's, I think. I love Matt Mercer. His descriptions are absolutely spot on. But goddamn, I think that boy overprepares sometimes. Like, take a break, Matt.
I don't think he can.
Yeah.
I don't think he physically can.
Yeah. So, you there, Dragon Spirit?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You just didn't say hi.
I thought I did.
Okay.
I did. It got drowned out by the other two.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. So, let me introduce myself. We've done character introductions on everybody else. My name is Vikos. I have been DMing for about 25 years for context. I started the same year as Matt Mercer, but that's as far as the similarities between me and Matt Mercer goes. Because unlike Mr. Mercer, I use charisma as a dump stat. So we'll be playing in my brand new, well, not so much brand new, developed over many years variant on the Forgotten Realms campaign setting with a greater focus on historical analogues. It's a slightly darker world. It has modified themes to suit my interests, and critically, it is a world that has been driven by successive campaigns, with the events of one game inform the next. So, whatever happens here in this game officially becomes part of the canon. You guys hyped?
Hell yes, I am.
It's definitely
Very good to say canon.
there definitely aren't any prophecies or action plans about my character eventually blowing up a city.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like you guys are going to ruin the lore or anything.
I can't believe I'm going to be the mum character.
Why do you keep doing this to yourself, Dragon Spirit? Last campaign,
know.
you were mum to what, like a tabaxi swashbuckler who just, like, actually had sex with one of the other characters' mums?
I'm totally going to be that one image of that poor woman in the airport having to wrestle with two child leashes and two very unsavory children.
Good luck getting the leash on.
All right. So, how long has it been since you guys last played D&D, out of curiosity?
Ooh. You know what? You go, Lockie.
It's just been a couple of months for me. Had a campaign going fairly recently that slowly died. But that was only a few months ago. We tried playing like some vampire because the DM's super into that. But, I think some of the players weren't up for it.
Vampire was my first game I started DMing with. I have a whole shelf of my bookshelf dedicated to 2nd edition Vampire.
I've always wanted to play.
It is a cool-ass game.
Nosferatu's for life. I don't care how difficult it makes the role playing. I will always play a Nosferatu.
Malkavian and Setite gang represent.
I'm gonna pretend I know what that means. Be like, yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. I think it's been about a year for me since my last proper campaign.
Okay.
It was with another group that streamed actually too.
Cool.
But they all live in Chicago and I live here. So scheduling got really difficult.
Yeah. Scheduling is hell, as evidenced by the fact that we are down one player today because I am a big dum-dum and made some last-minute mix-ups. But that is cool. We are forging ahead anyway. Our introduction, rather than refilm it, I decided, fuck it, TM. We're just going to go with the introduction that says we have 4 players.
Fair enough.
Fair.
Yeah.
I
so-
mean, thankfully, I've been. Oh, sorry.
No, you go.
Oh, I've been able to keep a relatively steady game going, so I've been playing a game that's been going on a bi-weekly basis.
Ooh la la.
Indeed.
All right. Well, I'm actually been a few months out of it, actually. And so I haven't DM'd in a hot minute. So we're going to shake out all of our nerves and we're going to push on with this game. So, roll intro. Hell yeah, and we are back. So, are we all ready to begin?
Let's
Yes.
go.
Ready as we'll ever be.
Fucking send it.
All right, let us begin. There is a story that lives inside of us and is forged between us. It takes place, it exists in a land that we see only through the eyes of our imagination. It comes slowly into view now. It is a land of towering mountain tops, like saw blade teeth in opposition to the sky. Snow-crested tops, toppling down to evergreen, pine, moss-covered slopes. And far below, as those slopes level out into vales, are the places where habitation is made possible, nestled down deep in those river-filled vales, as the nightmares of weather's ravages roar overhead. Slowly, as spring comes upon this land, those snow-crusted slopes melt. And this is a time of pure water. As the ice turns to glacial flows that trickle down inevitably into the rivers that overflow their banks, bursting forth and change from pure, clear water to shades of ochre and grey as they carry the river silt downstream to feed the farmlands that make life possible. Far above, the spruce trees awaken from their skeletal hibernation and sprout forth, new leaves casting shadows over the freshly revealed earth, a tiger dappling over green shoots spurting forth to reach forward to the sky like those saw-blade mountain teeth do. But this is not where our story begins. Our eye travels far, far to the south over rolling plains and bogs and mountains steep, to the many independent city-states of the western heartlands where the wealthy burghers compete to acquire the most wealth. In this land, a small kingdom has sprung up, known colloquially as the land of the heretics. It is the Sunset Vale. Once thought to be the inevitable enemy of the lands of Cormia, it has turned to become its ally in the face of a greater enemy, the rising threat of the Dark Elf armies and their endless horde of underdark creatures that sweep forth through the southern Palatinate to wipe the gods and humanity from this world. The camps gather for war. The red flag with the black raven upon it, the raven's banner, it snaps in the breeze. South of the river, outside of the city, known as the Jewel of the Vale, Burdusk. Within, the ancient stave church, known as Twilight Hall. A tall, many-layered wooden structure. The headquarters of the Harpers, defenders of civilization. On its bottom floor, we peek in past the windowsill. The long banqueting tables and scatterings of adventurers. The diplomatic missions to be sent to the far corners of the Empire. We enter this scene. We hear the clatter of their cutlery, the murmur of their voices. We smell their mead, their bread, their wine, the press of bodies. We feel the warmth of the many fireplaces circumnavigating this hall as it warms our extremities. And we see the arched entrance to this hall, where a war wizard, bald-headed with a neat goatee upon his chin, in red robes, as the war wizard clasps silver dragon, joins his cloak around his neck. He steps forward into this room and through one monocled eye peers down at a sheet of paper in front of him, tapping as he does twice on the ground, upon the flagstone ground, with his staff to draw attention to his arrival. "Norman!" he calls out. "I seek the war wizard named Norman." Norman, would you perhaps like to describe your character and what you are doing nearby when you hear your name being called out?
Yes. Well, so Norman, he is wearing the purple robes of a novice war wizard. The robes, they have a very heavy hawk-like cowl. They have, he has an identical silver dragon clasp on his cloak. Norman is wearing a little bit of armor underneath his robes, which is not completely unknown in war wizard training. Some of them do prefer the solidness of physical armor rather than mage armor. As for Norman himself, he is fairly light-skinned. Hair is somewhere in the either a very sandy blonde or a very light brunette. Norman also has the absolute worst mustache you have ever seen. His mustache is just completely wrong for his face. It's just like, it's not wispy, it's not creepy, it's just like he's made the wrong facial hair decision for his entire life. And as for what Norman is doing, I think that Norman has found some very nice, some sort of potato or turnip, and is just kind of eating roast vegetables. It's Norman is hungry, but
Okay.
he will stand to attention, possibly knocking over his plate upon seeing a senior war wizard enter the room. And yes, standing to attention, I believe, and saying, yes, Master Wizard, yes, hello.
Barely glancing up at you, he continues to stare at his notes. You are Norman?
Yes, Norman Lightbringer.
The Lightbringer. Let me add this to my notes. Lightbringer. Now, you are the war wizard who has been chosen to supervise the diplomatic expedition to the Silver Marches. Is that correct?
Yes. That came down from the Raven's Banner. Yes, I believe that I'm supervising an expedition. Yes.
He raises his hand, sort of cutting you off as if he doesn't want to hear the story. I have good news and bad news for you, Norman. The good news is we shall not need your expertise on casting the teleportation rituals to travel to there. It seems that we have located some... He rolls his eyes somewhat. At least what passes for a wizard in this backwater land who has claims, anyway, to have been educated at the college. The magical college in Silvery Mood, so they can acquire a better lock on the location. So you may keep your spells of the higher levels, the higher circles, preserved for your arrival.
Yes, thank you.
The bad news is you will have to leave right now. Gather your companions. You have met them, have you not?
Not as such, no.
Well, you would best jump to it then. Once you have gathered,
Yes.
I believe we will be sending your mission in waves. The first one, let me look at this. He turns the page, peers down. A couple of Kalashite individuals. Should be easy to spot. Should stand out like a sore thumb. Don't you say? Think?
I mean, I don't generally like to no, I'll find them. I'll find them.
Very good, very good. He folds up his papers again. And, sort of looks past you in a fairly dismissive tone, as if seeking the object of his next task.
Well, then I am going to squeeze past him as politely as I can, and I'm going to also like. I presume that Norman has been told he has charges, but Norman has not met them, or
That's entirely up to you. This is a cooperative storytelling.
yes. So I think that I believe that what I'm going to do is that I'm going to find whoever it is that told me that I have these charges, and I'm going to ask them where these charges are because we need to move.
Okay, so are we going to
What was
move?
just what was the pronunciation so I don't get it wrong? The
Kalashite. That's
Kalashite.
somebody from Kalimshan.
Yes.
Yes. So you would be looking for exotic styles of dress. So it can take as long as you choose for it to take to find them. Meanwhile, so you may enter into the next scene whenever you choose, however long you think it would take Norman to find them, as our eye turns over to one of the long tables where we find the two faces sitting. Perhaps would you, Dia and Brooke, would you like to describe your characters as you are sitting, and at least Dia may be playing cards with a large, bulky individual who has challenged you to a little bit of friendly gambling.
After you, Brooke.
Okay, you want me to go first? Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm happy to do that. So, the woman who is sitting at the long table is kind of trying to lean away from most other people there, with a decorated scimitar adorning her hip and studded leather armor that is fashioned to look almost like serpent scales. She's got relatively short and fluffy brown hair, with what is interestingly a blindfold across her face, covering her eyes, but you can see the very edges of scarring along her eyebrows. She's only really partaking in a single piece of bread and a cup of water, and every 30 seconds or so, she is planting the tips of bare feet to the ground for a few seconds and then bringing them back up towards her lap. At the moment, she's looking more annoyed than anything else, specifically at the Kalashite next to her. If you would like to go ahead.
Dia, looking very confident in herself. Very, very much like enjoying playing cards, enjoying the friendly gamble, like really leaning into it. She's a little halfling, sort of darker skin, dark hair, but wearing bright like red and gold and very like fiery sort of like cloth, almost monk-like, over the top of her armor. Sort of very decorative. A lot of piercings. There's a lot of gold adornments on Dia. And she's not being quiet either. She's, you know, trying to throw jokes back and forth. She maybe not the most charismatic, but trying. She's trying. Being very loud in playing this game. Not really minding at all whether there's bother or interruption to the people who are not part of the game. Just locked in and engaged in the situation.
All right. Now, how much would you like to have invested in this hand?
How much do I have? Hang on.
How much do I have? That's that's the right question.
How much gold do I have?
How much can you bet?
Yeah. You know,
All in?
it didn't no, I'm not going all in. Come
Okay.
on. No, I'm not going all in. We'll chuck 2 gold in there. Like,
Okay, 2 gold. All
It's-
right. Hey, big spender.
why not? I don't care.
All right.
Dia doesn't care. He's like, all right, meet. Let's go.
Okay. And so we want to do the very first dice roll of the game.
Yes.
All right. So we're going to roll a d20, and if you can think of any skill or ability or attribute you have that might help you win a game of cards, you can add that modifier to it. Otherwise, it's just a straight roll.
It depends on the game. Is this a game of chance? Are we playing like a poker situation? Like,
Yeah, it's sort of like a pokery sort of a situation.
then I would very much like to stack my insight on top of that. Try to read the expression of this person that I'm playing, try to work out whether they're bluffing.
Okay.
You know, like
Your opponent, by the way, is a minotaur. A
the sense of
broad-shouldered,
scale.
dark-furred minotaur. He wears a very bulky studded leather armor. Over his broad chest, he has a cloak with a high collar around his shoulders, and a double-headed axe rests against the table next to where he sits.
Dia is probably as big as one of this man's hands. This is hilarious. I love this. All right. But yes, I'm gonna add my wisdom modifier. Oh, and insight being a proficient skill, it'll be a +5. So here's the thing.
Wow.
Here's
Wow.
The kind of halfling that I am, a strong heart halfling, has something called lucky. And
That's true.
what that means is I can use the point to reroll. And I would like to demonstrate that ability right here and now.
Yeah. Wow.
But +5.
Okay.
The +5.
So, yeah.
Still win.
So you re-rolled your 1 for a 2.
It's not a critical fail, and
Yep.
that's okay with me.
So you get the +5.
We have to roll all the bad rolls out now before it matters.
Now you see what I rolled? I rolled a 3. So we are really starting low. From here, honestly, we've set the bar so low. We can.
It'll be real impressive when I roll an 11. I'm just saying.
We can only go up from here.
Exactly. Up in flames. So,
Appropriate.
the pair of you, meaty ham handling your cards with finesse and skill, quote unquote. You slam your winning hand down on the table, barely beating out the Minotaur, who grumbles and passes over. So you doubled your 2 gold, was it?
Mm-hmm.
He growls. I should have known better than to play cards against a halfling.
Oh, you know, lessons learned from experiences and such. Lessons learned, lessons learned. Another hand?
He starts to shuffle the deck. From what I hear, your luck will run out sooner or later. Are you not part of the mission to be sent to Silvery Moon?
Whoa.
This does sound like about the point at which Norman would be introduced. If I can bring an NPC into this with me, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So I think like there's one of the sergeants or whatever the leaders of this camp is a little bit dragging Norman in, and he's
Okay.
going to be like, look, you see the 2 Kalashites in that corner who look exactly like Kalashites. They're the Kalashites that you're looking after. And Norm's like, yes, but I don't like to assume. It's not polite.
I might be going on a mission, but I don't see anyone pulling me away from this game anytime soon.
So Norman, being slightly shoved by the sergeant, is saying, yes, I'm sorry, look, are you the Kalashites? And he looks at a bit of paper. There's a Dia and Brooke.
That we are. Unfortunately, my companion here seems to be wasting time on frivolous activities.
It's not a waste. I got 2 gold.
Pathetic.
Congratulations, but I am afraid we have. My name's Norman, Norman Lightbringer. I've been asked to supervise you. I believe that we are being called away immediately.
Dia sort of looks Norman up and down, looks the Minotaur up and down, looks back at Norman, does not make any effort to hide the slight disappointment, looks back at the Minotaur,
Minotaur snorts somewhat derisively through both nostrils, perhaps blasting your hair back in the process.
Spoke too soon, friend. Spoke too soon. And she stands.
Enjoy your fool's errand, he says.
She gives a salute.
All I'm
And,
saying is when you throw a rock into a pond in hopes of stunning a fish that it may be caught who do not expect to see the rock again.
But I am pretty lucky. So I might hit the fish.
Like I said, little one, luck runs out. You're
But not
being
yet.
sent in the way of a fairy tale. No one has been to Silvery Moon. No one has seen it in an age. It's long died out. You will find yourself in a deserted forest that will give you some excuse about a margin of error within teleportation, and then they will leave you there to die. Me, I go to the cradle of civilization, and there I travel west to Center to see the mighty phalanxes of all. But enjoy chasing your fairy stories, and may the gold you've won from me keep you well.
Dia offers so Dia and Brooke have been traveling for a bit. Is there an established sort of like signal or sound or something for like grabbing Brooke's attention that would have been established
Up to you.
beyond just words? Because like Dia wants to sort of like offer a hand, offer an arm, to sort of guide Brooke to standing, or to hold on to something so that Brooke's got multiple hands, whatever. Sort of just a, can I give you a hand? But I don't know if Dia would verbalize it.
I think Brooke is more or less just like a tap on the arm or something like that. But funnily enough, she's already rising and kind of twisting around. It is actually most of the way to standing.
Oh, right, well, beautiful. Dia will turn to go to tap on the arm. Notice that. Just nod to herself. Polite nod to the Minotaur. Like, well, at least I had a fun card game to see me out. Suppose.
He lowers his head slightly, and taps a hand over the heart.
And then she'll turn to Norman. So you're gonna cast a spell?
Yes. Well, we have a wizard in the camp who was educated at Silvery Moon. I believe he says that he knows the relevant teleportation sigils, so we should be able to get there with minimal deviation from the intended target. I just need to find him.
The sergeant kind of rolls his eyes a little bit and jerks his head like this way.
Thank you.
Oh, we'll follow.
So from the grand banqueting hall up the central staircase that runs up the spine of this stave church, past the library of Denier, past the Princess Circe's personal chambers, up to the observatory upon the top level, a single-roomed chamber, arched roof, a great glass wall with telescopes established to gaze ever upwards to the stars. It is a room lined by several layers of library tomes, lit by floating arcane candlelight. Soft, musky smell of old books and leather bindings. And this high up in the wooden structure, you are suddenly aware of the very faint creaking, grinding, and swaying of the structure in the breeze.
I
You're,
keep
you,
rolling.
you hear the sound, Ed. The sergeant leaves you at the door here, and stepping into this room, you hear the sound of scratching pen upon parchment, stepping amidst venerable bookshelves, coming into view. Small figure, hunched over, wearing party-coloured clothes that's quartered in different colours. Hunched over a table, writing, their back to you. Couple of elfish ears poke up through their shoulder-length dark hair.
Norman will stand. Norman will give his quietest, most polite cough because it's very rude to interrupt a wizard while they're working.
Your cough is met with a squeak noise as she jumps in her seat and the chair, slightly leaning back, almost topples over. She jumps up to her feet and turns around to face you. Her left arm suddenly ignites with silver fire, and then seeing you, she sort of shakes it out, shakes until the fire comes off. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't. Oh, I'm sorry.
I will. Say, oh my god! Oh, sorry. I will cast a prestidigitation.
No. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh dear. Is everything all right? I do hope that I haven't.
Everybody's sorry.
Oh, Mistra. Oh, how did this? Oh, I wish I could control your fire. Anyway, hello. My name is Majuna. It is a pleasure to meet you. She bows deeply at the hip. You're looking at a dark-skinned half-elf woman.
Norman will also bow and say, "Yes, Majuna. My name is Norman. These are Dia and Brooke. I've been told that you may know the teleportation sigil for Silvery Moon, and that myself and my compatriots are we are looking to be teleported there."
Oh gosh. See, the thing is, I'm not sure that they would really want me using that one exactly, since my announcement, my arrival has not exactly been announced. But I think I should be able to teleport us to just outside of the gates or something like that. I'm pretty certain.
You're pretty
very well.
certain, or you are certain?
I'm
Well, I feel like it's an important distinction to make.
I'm certain the spell is well within my abilities.
There we go. Little self-confidence, that's all.
Just sort of a little bit of a weak smile creeps across her face. She looks at you somewhat appreciatively.
I'm losing more faith in this endeavor by the day.
Her face falls.
Undo all my hard work.
Very well. If we perhaps join hands.
Oh, Yes, yes, yes.
Spells of physical contact. Okay. Dia, steps into place, thrusts out both hands.
Norman will take one of Majuna. Did you say?
Majuna, yes.
Yeah, Norman will take Majuna's hand, but not the hand that was on fire.
Okay, so the right hand.
Is the hand still on fire?
No, she shook
Okay.
out, shook out the fire. It was a strange, like glowing silver fire. Anyway, so forming a circle of joined hands, Una closes her eyes and begins to speak the arcane words. Glowing sigil appears on the floor around of you, and then a peculiar sensation, like almost like that moment when you are falling asleep and suddenly you gain the sensation of falling backwards, and then sense almost like being pulled backwards into your own navel. A brief spurt of darkness with the rushing noise of wind through your ears, and then a pop, and you appear. Would somebody like to roll for me a D100?
I've already rolled this session. Somebody else can have it.
I think.
I
Who's
think
doing
I
it?
just typed it, but I think I typed it wrong.
Oh, okay. You need to put a
You got a
slash in front of
slash.
it.
$50.
50, exactly average.
Oh dear.
You appear a few feet above the ground and then immediately drop down. Your feet touch the earth, which immediately starts to slide out from underneath you as it is soaked and roughly at a 45-degree angle. The circle of your hands is broken and you tumble down across the hillside in every direction, landing in the mud and the water flowing over you as you become aware of the heavy, warm rain pouring down upon you. Thunder cracks overhead.
Ugh.
You are somewhere on the side of a deserted hill. Relatively steamy temperature. And there's a thunderstorm raging around you. Picking herself up off the ground, Majuna wrings her hands. Oh my, this isn't right. This is let me look. She kind of glances around, puts her hands up above her eyes to stop the raindrops from pouring directly onto her eyes, and peers around. The mountains are in the right places. We're in the right region. She closes her eyes. Points off a direction in the storm. We're south of the Moonwood. That's good. Okay. And judging by the temperature, we can't be that far off.
Well, that was it's I suppose that's so hold on. Are we just like in a forest? Is it plains? What's the
Yes. There is a spattering of pine trees around you on this grassy slope.
right? Well,
Their pine needles sort of coat the floor, which is what kind of made the floor so slippery, the ground
Right.
so slippery when you fell onto it, that layer of pine needles immediately mashed into the mud and slipped out from under feet.
Right. Should we perhaps climb up that hill? He points upwards, and like we'll see what we can see from the top of the hill instead of the side of the hill, and then maybe we'll be able to see which direction Silvery Moon is exactly.
Better than my idea.
Majuna pulls loose the ribbon that ties around her hair and hands it to you, Norman. She says, keep a hold of this. It is a possession of mine, therefore I shall be able to use it to send your companions to you more accurately. I'm dreadfully sorry. I'm sorry. And she poof, with another pop noise, she vanishes.
All right. Well, I must confess that was not exactly as the teleportation was described to me. I was under the impression that she knew of a fixed point of teleportation rather than a ordinary teleportation spell. But if, as she claims, we are not far from Silvery Moon, we can. Yes, we should go. We should go to the top of that hill. We should search for something.
Thea just starts trudging up the hill.
I'm pretty sure Brooke is somewhere off in the background, like struggling to try and right herself because, oh my god, thunder is very loud.
Ooh. Fair point.
I hate magic.
Thea will stop, turn around, walk back toward Brooke, do the little like light tap on the arm.
Never mind the extent to which like heavy rainfall is just making your tremor sense go brr.
It's like, brrr.
And Dia will just quietly, if you take my hand, I will lead you forward.
Right, who is leading the way?
I think Norman is leading the way because Norman has not yet noticed what is going on between Deer and Brooke.
Right, Norman, would you make a survival check?
Yeah, that's a +0, so just a flat d20.
Mm-hmm.
There you go,
Hey,
19.
not bad at all. Not bad at all. Very well. So, you are lucky enough that the rain has thinned somewhat by the time you get to the top of the hill. You are nonetheless all soaked through and through. You begin to gaze across the horizon. And you see this hill is just a brief bump in a larger mountain slope that leads down into a valley. You are near the bottom. You see a number of thermal vents nearby, which would explain the warmth both of the rain and the surroundings, of humidity of your direct surroundings. And you see a glow down below. Wisp of smoke that seems to suggest some sort of habitation. That is what a 19 will get you.
Okay, can we see anything about the habitation? Like, is it just a tent? Is there a house? Is there a town? Like,
It all
how
sort of
big are we talking?
turns into a grey molasses through the rain.
Well, I suppose that's...
Not too far ahead, at least.
Well,
below.
so
This-
Norman, I guess, will point out this this wisp of smoke and say, "Well, there's something in that direction. Some sort of fire. I don't believe a large one. Perhaps perhaps a friendly hunter or a woodsman will know more about the surrounding environment. We can. I'm sure that we can find our way to Silvery Moon soon enough with the help of some helpful people."
You're very nervous. It's obvious. Let's go.
All right. So Norman's fears assuaged. We head down the slope into the Vale proper, and as you head from the thermal vents, gradually the rain becomes more chilly.
I don't like chili. Dia is grumpy. And getting grumpier the colder it gets.
Norman is continuing to try very, very hard to keep a happy face and be the helpful, smiling leader. He's doing an incredibly bad job of it, as you can tell.
You come upon a dirt path winding through this vale. Looking at the left and looking at the right, you surmise the direction that most likely leads towards the town. Ever have settlement you spied before, and begin to head in that direction.
While we are moving, I would like, I'm not gonna audibly do this, but Dia would be giving just little pointers of, okay, now we're on a dirt path, like terrain changes and brief little descriptors of like, here's your environment.
Yeah. Brooke doesn't verbalize anything, but you can definitely tell that she's appreciative, at least, of the descriptions.
Mm.
The rain is messing with my sight.
There's
Yeah.
a noise. Something. Another bang. It sounded different. Thunderclap. Pressing onward. There are many twists and turns on the path, and frequently the way ahead is shielded from view by a dogleg turn or some overgrown tree, its roots reaching all the way down to gradually reclaim the path. Then the noise comes again, this time barely meters ahead, just around a rooted turn. A loud bang noise.
Whoa.
I'm pretty sure Brooke freezes and flinches a little bit.
Yeah.
Norman
That was
screams a
not
little
thunder.
bit
That's
and then
like
pretends to not have screamed.
what do you do?
You two stay here. I will scout ahead. Sound good?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
So you
Right.
are moving stealthily?
Stealth.
All
Not a
right.
strong point, but we're doing it anyway.
Moving up to amidst the tree roots to peer around. You can roll your. You know what? Because of the circumstances, I'm just going to give it to you. Peering around, you see a beleaguered wagon.
Mm-hmm.
The horse that leads it lies dead on the ground, its body pierced with many arrows. There are a couple of small figures around, small-sized figures disappearing off the road into the forest, carrying various objects over their head, like small kegs and barrels and such. Apparently, the cargo of this wagon. And standing in the road, a couple of arrows stuck into him, with a stunned look on his face, hand up to his face, as blood sort of seeps down from a heavy wound from his forehead down across his nose. There's a man in breastplate armor, a sword in his hands. He staggers in the road and falls down to one knee, propping himself up by his blade, and lets out a roar of pain and anger.
Oh, shit. Oh, I don't know if you're a friend or not. Oh, I don't know if you're a friend or not. Oh, I don't know if you're a friend or not. Okay. Dia is going to backtrack. And very quickly relay information. You know, dead horse in road, lots of arrows, guy screaming in pain, has sword, breastplate.
Is this banditry?
Yes.
Oh goodness! Well, we must stop the bandits.
They're carrying away cargo. They are like leaving the situation. I don't know if we can stop them, but we can help him.
Yes, perhaps the best idea is to investigate the banditry and then possibly stop the bandits later.
Potentially. At any rate, I am not going to do it alone.
Yeah, Norman. I think that Norman is already heading towards the direction that you pointed. Norman wants to help people. Norman is here to help.
I'm pretty sure Brooke is following just behind Scimitar already out.
Yep. Okay, we are. Yep. All right. Deal will follow.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna ask when we return. Are there still little dudes?
The little dudes are gone.
Right.
And he has risen to his feet, and it looks like he's trying to gather rainwater in his hands to wash blood out of his eyes. And then, as your feet step onto the path, he turns, swings the sword in your direction. You're still meters away from him, so it's just a little cut through the air.
Norman is going to... Oh my goodness! Sir,
I sense your movement, goblin curs!
Whoa!
Goblins!
Blinded and deafened, I fight! Nonetheless!
Oh my god!
He swings around him again.
Sir, I am no goblin. I am here to assist.
Shut up! He's deafened. Dia's gonna cast Healing Word.
Okay. All right. Roll how much you heal.
It is 1d4 plus my spell modifier. Alright, so 2. Oh, what's my modifier again?
Your wisdom
3.
Yeah. Yes.
How did you heal him?
5.
5 hit points.
People can sense when they're being healed, yes?
Oh yeah.
Yes. So it is an obvious helpful action.
Inverting his sword, he sort of drives it into the ground to support himself upright. Shakes his head again, attempts to wash the blood out of his eyes again. Who goes there?
He's deafened. What?
Sir, my name is Norman Lightbringer. I am a traveler in these parts.
Tia just shakes her head, takes a couple of steps forward, clears her throat, squares her feet, cups hands to face. Friends!
Cups hands to your face or his face?
No, to her own face. Like, Like the shouting, like he said he was deaf.
Yeah, he
He's
turns his head side on towards you as if he sort of heard that and sticks his finger in his ear and sort of wiggles it around a bit.
She tries again. Friends!
The ringing in my ears subsides somewhat, I think. I think I hear you, but...
Good. Good. Friends.
He sits down upon the ground, heavily. My wounds are still severe.
Yeah, well, do what we can with the tools we have.
You must give me a moment.
Give him a moment.
Norman is walking slowly and nervously towards this man.
I'm pretty sure Brooke is trying to do the equivalent of standing sentry.
Yeah. Dia stands by, sort of tapping a foot.
I'm
Checking
not
her nails.
able to. I know that my senses are going to be a bit impacted by the rain, but I cannot sense anything coming back.
No, it appears that nothing is coming towards you within 60 feet.
If they were intending to come back to finish him off, I don't sense that they are doing that now.
They probably thought he was already done for.
Or no longer a threat.
Either or.
Norman, nervously approaching the armored man, is, hello, sir. Is your hearing returning?
Some black sorcerous stones they cast upon the ground with flashes of light and blasts of sound robbed me of my senses.
Well,
You see, he still sort of seems to be struggling to see around him, and you observe that the wound on his face may be more severe than simply blood in his eyes.
I suppose we should. What your name? What is your name, sir? My name is Norman. What is your name?
I am Sir Thorimus, of the Lights of the Unicorn.
So first of all, Norman is incredibly grateful that he's been referring to this man as Sir, and that he is in fact a knight. And has Norman heard of the Knights of the Unicorn?
You can make a history check if you wish. Are you proficient in history?
Yes, I am.
All right, you may make a history check.
+4.
You may make a history check.
19.
Well, from context clues, you gather, based on some of the background reading you attempted to do before traveling here, they are associated with worship of Luru, the patron goddess of these lands, the unicorn goddess.
All right, and did he say his name was Thorman?
Thorimus.
Thorimus. All right, so yeah, back to the conversation then. Norman, yes, Sir Thorimus, grateful to meet you, Norman Lightbringer. I introduced myself already. These are my companions, Dia and Brooke. What was your mission in these lands, Sir Thorimus?
Leaning back against the wagon wheel for support, he begins painfully snapping off the arrows in his arm and shoulder.
Do you want help? Do you want help with the I know medicine stuff.
Merely a flesh wound, he says unconvincingly.
Yes, if you are, I'm afraid that my talents do not particularly extend to medicine.
You can make a medicine check.
Norm,
I've got it.
yes, no,
Yep.
I'm asking.
Yeah.
Norman is very obviously not looking at the blood.
It's a +5.
Not bad. Not bad at all. So with a 19, you surmise that this man is going to need proper and serious medical care. His fumbling attempts to prepare himself for, you can only imagine, combat, based on his temperament, is probably going to do more damage than good. One of his eyes is cactus.
Right.
This
got
man
some-
needs serious medical care.
I got some basic sort of things with me and everything. Is it like cloth or some kind of fabric in the wagon still? Like or is there anything like that sort of on hand?
He has a cloak that you could probably tear up.
I don't know if I want to do that. Well, I don't want to do that. That ain't it. She sort of clicks her fingers a couple of times and sort of looks directly at Norman and says, "Cloth, you know, like, can you find some? Do you see any cloth? Something we can tear up?"
Yeah.
Oh,
Sorry, hang
hello.
on. Things dropped out for me a bit there. Is
Oh.
everyone still?
Hello. Yes.
I can still hear you.
All right, so hang on. So you're looking for cloth, for bandages?
Yeah, something that we can like fashion into like makeshift bandages. Like Diaz like looked at you directly a bit like cloth.
I don't really have anything on me. Is there anything in the wagon?
Is there?
Sure.
Oh, no.
we'll
That was
say-
a sarcastic
roll.
question angled at.
I am happy to roll to search the wagon.
Sure, make an investigation check.
Investigation check 20 total.
Not bad. Okay,
So we got the bad rolls out.
you've managed to find some bags of unspun wool and some carpet-like fabrics.
Norman will.
All in all, the contents of this wagon seem to be slightly peculiar, not quite trade goods. They look more like a rummage sale, you know? Somebody's attic emptied out.
Norman is just going to drop both the unspun wool and the carpets on the ground in front of Dia and say, "Well, there's these. Would you like? I have a dagger. If you would like to help cutting."
Is any of this actually going to be useful?
I mean,
I'm pretty
it sounds
sure
like-
Brooke would probably be leaning down and just, "You're in need of serious medical care, apparently. Where's the nearest settlement?"
He reaches up, grabs you, Brooke, and sort of pulls you close, and he says, "How fares my prisoner?"
"Your prisoner."
Oh, goodness.
You did not see anybody else in the wagon.
We did not see anybody in the wagon. Wait, was that relayed?
Well, you would be able. Actually, I guess you would not be able to see. You did not see. You did not see anyone else in the wagon. That much is for
Would I
certain.
be? I wouldn't sense anyone in the wagon either.
No,
Would I?
no. There is nobody nearby. You would know that better than most.
I don't sense anyone nearby except for us.
So it was all a trick. That goblin claiming to surrender to me, just to slow me down so his companions could ambush me upon the road.
Oh, that is. Oh, a very base deception.
Dia has
No
decided.
matter what happens, he says, you will take revenge upon them, will you not?
What?
If that is your request.
It is.
All right.
I'm not against the idea, but if perhaps we think of this as justice for the crime of banditry and the recovery of the goods from the bandits rather than revenge.
For Manasseh's sake, get a hold of yourself.
Sir. Can I call you sir? You need medical care that is beyond what I can provide. We can enact revenge. Sure. But I would rather, exact revenge for a living man than a dead one. Where is the nearest settlement? Where is the nearest help?
Yes, I tend to agree. I believe that we should help this night before we hunt goblins.
He furrows his brows, opens one eye. He points down the road in the direction you were headed. Quaver. Points back towards his wagon. Says, you save nothing else. The chest.
Chest. Big chest. Little chest.
Closes his eyes again.
Were there any chests of any sort in the wagon?
Looking over, you find... It looks like the wagon has been pretty well ransacked. Everything is strewn around. And then you find, in the mud, by the side of the road, a number of clear, like, hack marks, as if trying to forcibly get it open. There is a secured chest. As you pull it out of the mud with a sucking noise as the mud releases its grasp upon it, you see the telltale sign of an arcane lock, a magical lock sealing this chest shut.
Yes. Sir Thorimus, I believe I have found your chest. It appears to be safe. This is a fine quality arcane lock on this chest. My compliments to your wizard. I'm like almost waving the chest around in front of him as best I can. How big is the chest? Is it particularly heavy?
It is a fairly heavy chest, yes.
Then I'm probably just dragging it along the ground and pointing at it.
Yeah, it is a pretty sizable chest. Like about the size of an arming chest. You could fit like a suit of armor or something inside of it.
Yes, Norman is barely able to drag that along the ground, probably. Strength of 8.
Are there any particular signs of life still coming off of our night here?
Yeah.
His breathing is relatively shallow, but his vitals seem stable.
Okay.
Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try and take his good arm and support him as best I can to help him get over to the settlement.
How far is it?
We'll find out when we start walking.
If I may make a suggestion, Brooke, this is merely a suggestion. I do not intend to exert authority. This chest is rather heavy.
You prefer
Perhaps,
I move the chest?
I mean, if you were to move the chest, I believe I would be more capable of supporting Sir Thoromus than I would be of moving the chest. Sir
Fucking roll
Thoromus,
him into the ditch. Take the loot.
Wow.
Well, the Sir Thoromus, I believe, would be capable of walking for at least at a some distance and speed. If given some time to rest, perhaps I will support him, and you will support the very heavy chest.
Very well. And
Yeah.
I am going to try and carry the chest.
All right. Slow down with your new cargo, and he is a fairly large, muscular man with breastplate armor, so he does tax your ability to carry him to help him along.
Yes, like he is very much leaning on me, and I'm definitely going to fall over at least once and make an embarrassment of everyone. But
Your slow legs burning, feet sucking in the mud. Make your way down the twisting path, continuing along your way. The rain lets up, ceases, and comes into view. An imposing forest you head towards, and at its edge is a walled settlement.
Okay. Relaying the visual
You approach
you know,
gates. And its walls must be manned, for you see, as the rain lets up, new, fresh, dry banners are raised from the flag poles. And a flag of a white stag upon a green field twists and snaps in the wind.
may I roll history to see if I recognize the flag?
Certainly.
I keep putting exclamation point roll instead of slash roll because I'm used to the Discord bot. But yeah, 13.
You do not recognize the flag. You approach the gates, which are... The walls consist of a number of stripped down, debarked trees embedded in the earth with a sharpened end protruding up towards the sky, and the gate itself is a number of these lashed together and reinforced with crossboards to create a heavy gate. Looks like it is raised rather than opened by a pulley system. And a couple of helmeted figures peer down at you as you approach the gates. Who goes there?
we have a Sir Thoromus. We came across him injured on the road. He needs urgent medical care. He's wasting no time.
There's sort of you see them sort of murmuring to each other, and you sort of vaguely hear the words "black blood" could be a trick.
Dia glares.
Identify yourselves.
I am Dia. The one supporting the knight is Norman. The one with the chest is Brooke. We're on a mission. But right now, that part's not important. The part that is important is the dying man. You see the dying man? The man who is leaning on what is essentially a twig for support and bleeding heavily. You see that man? The dying one? Who needs urgent medical care? Do you see it?
You hear one of them saying, "Send them to the Oak House. They'll help them there. At
Right.
least then
Would
we
you-
won't
would
be
you perhaps
potentially
have-
letting them into our midst."
Do you have a map? Or a guide?
Just at
Would
the
you
edge of
perhaps have a
town,
stretcher?
he points down the way, and you observe barely a path heading down through, just a little bit away. He says, "Barely 5 minutes down the path."
Would you perhaps have a stretcher or a walking stick for Sir Thorobus here?
We'll get him there. Thank you very much.
Lash a couple of branches together. Tie him to
It'll be
it
fine.
like a sled. Pull him on that.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine. You'll be fine, Norman. It'll be fine. Let's just keep moving. Five more minutes, Norman. 5
No,
minutes.
I'm still moving.
Dia, like, storms forward. Like, Dia's like, okay, we've got permission. Go.
Down the little side path, having been someone rudely refused entry to the fortified settlement, the path leads to the edge of the forest, where, surrounded by a copse of trees, you find several, looks like naturally fallen in a rough circular shape, large ancient trees. You see signs of them being hollowed out, and little doors and windows and such, as if people live within the tree trunks on their sides themselves. Smoke pours from a knothole in the roof, like a natural chimney, and a couple of the trees sort of seem to have naturally fallen in the shape of an archway leading into an entryway into the circle of fallen logs.
Well,
You step within the arch, find yourself walking into a druid's grove, identifiable by the secret signs of druidic language marked upon some of the trees.
Dia visibly relaxes.
A door in the side of one of the heavy tree trunks opens up, a circular door, and there, standing in the doorway, is a short forest gnome woman with a long hooked nose and a kind of a somewhat motherly appearance with a few streaks of grey hair. "Oh my," she says. What have you done? What have you done to yourselves there? Come on in.
Thank you very much. This man needs medical care. The rest of us are fine. I've tried what I can, but it is beyond me.
Dobreth, she hollers. Dobreth, where are you? Boil some water. You see a man sort of step out from amidst the trees, and sort of a dark-haired young man, and sort of look at you guys, sort of take you in one by one, and then head back towards a fireplace in the center of the little encampment here.
Where do we put him?
She guides you inside, and in this is a somewhat low but comfortable abode inside this tree trunk, such that your heads scrape upon the ceiling, forcing you to sort of double down and sit upon
Even mine?
No, not yours. For you,
Okay.
it's quite comfortable.
Okay, good.
But the humans... No, for the humans, yes, you were forced to you feel almost like parents at teacher-parent night sitting in the kids' seats as you are sort of forced to sit down in the smaller furniture of her abode. She lays him out on a long table and starts to assess him, plucking her tongue several times in disapproval. Very well, she says. Help me get this armor off him.
Norman is trying and failing to hide his relief at no longer having to support Sir Thoromus's weight. Norman's and like just slouches down as best he can in one of the tiny chairs.
It is warm in here, and it is, though cramped, it is comfortable.
Dia's helping with armor. Dia's automatically stepping into the second set of hands, help out where I can. Like,
yep, that mid RP kicking in.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, yep, I know how to do this. I know what's up. I know what's going on. If there was a moment, just subtly, Dia would like to, like, if there's like a question asked or something, Dia would like to respond in Druidic. Nothing like, like spectacular, like, hey, like, here's all of my secrets or whatever, but just like a yes ma'am, even like an affirmative in Druidic, just to sort of like wink at the shared background or the shared knowledge while working away.
Okay. Yeah, you are able to communicate that subtly, I'm sure. So, shortly after, you identify yourself as a fellow druid, and the young man arrives with a pot of heated water and a couple of wolf cubs, little puppy wolves, sort of wrestling and darting around his ankles. The woman basically shoos everybody except Dia out of the room. Give me some space. You're all cluttering up the place.
Oh, yes. Norman clatters up, kicks over the chair in the process of standing up, and squeezes back out of the room.
I'm pretty sure Brooke just gets up and leaves without even a word.
Mm-hmm.
Brooke, should we perhaps ask what should be done with the chest? We can let them deal with the Sir Thoromus is in good hands. Should we perhaps deliver this chest to where it belongs?
They don't seem to trust us enough to suggest what we do with the chest anyway.
Well, the fortunate news is that the lock on this chest is in fact magically reinforced. This is an arcane lock spell, and it appears to still be in good condition. It has protected the chest from the goblin bandits. So that if we can find the wizard who cast this arcane lock, then they will be able to verify that it has not been tampered with.
The young man speaks
Very
up.
well.
Lock chest, eh? Tell you what, if I get it open, will you split the loot with me?
That's not, no, it's this is a delivery. It belongs somewhere in this camp.
I believe if we attempt to open it up, the nearby settlement will have our heads.
Yes, I'm afraid, my heraldry is not up to snuff. The stag banner upon the camp, which kingdom or which army, flies that banner?
Not from around here, are you?
No.
Well,
This
no,
conversation
no.
is taking place outside now. He's sort of knelt down and is examining the chest here. Sort of poking at the hinges and such. As well, strangers, you find yourselves at the town of Quavar. The ugly stepchild of the Silver Marchers Alliance. In my opinion, they only let us join the Silver Marchers Alliance because of our high-quality inn, the Whistling Stag, from which we take our banner. But sort of rattles the chest as for the second time, as if futilely attempting to open it. But he says, nonetheless, a full member of the Silver Marchers Alliance we are, which earns us the protections afforded.
Norman is not comfortable with the hinges rattling. So, may I ask your name, sir?
My name is Dobreth. I am apprentice druid.
Yes, well, hello, Mr. Dobreth. If you are a druid, perhaps you may know, the lock on this chest is, of course, magical in nature. Would you perhaps know to whom this magic belongs, so that we may return the chest to them?
Return it? Why?
Or deliver it to whomsoever it belongs?
I thought you were adventurers, he says.
The chest belongs to someone. The bandits attempted to break in and failed, and we must, if we were to complete the delivery, then that would be good.
You're weird. But I suppose
We
I
are-
could ask when my mistress comes back from the hunt. She'd probably be able to, I don't know, do something or another.
We are adventurers, but we are also in a foreign land, and I would prefer to avoid conflict where it's possible.
Oh, yes, yes. Avoid conflict. Perhaps they would be grateful if we were to deliver this chest. Yes.
Oh, so you're aiming for a reward. It's like,
No, I am aiming to be polite, sir.
I brows furrow a little bit.
I'm aiming to keep my head.
Sort of tilts his head a little bit. Well, that much I can understand, I suppose. He leans down and pats one of the little wolf cubs that have been sort of running around his feet. Say, newly arrived here, you'd be looking for work, I dare say.
Oh, well, perhaps. I mean, we were attempting to reach Silvery Moon, and perhaps but yes, if there is any work along the way, or anything which we could anything useful that we could do on our way to Silvery Moon, perhaps yes.
He picks up one of the wolf cubs by the scruff of its neck. Says, "You like?"
Well,
Sort of yaps
I,
and sort of struggles around a little bit, and he sets it down.
I'm. You're making me think now. Is Norman likely to have been raised by dogs? Not raised by dogs, but raised with dogs.
Be a dog person or
Norman
a cat
is.
person? The important questions.
I mean, Norman is very much a city boy. He's definitely not used to like wild matted dogs or wolves, as these are.
What would you have us do with a wolf pup? Wait,
Oh goodness, it's a wolf.
would Brooke actually know what a wolf is? I'm pretty sure they would be in Kalashan, wouldn't they?
Oh yeah,
Or
Yeah.
okay, it's just like slightly too big to be a regular dog pup. Probably a wolf. Just like they're druids.
There's lots of things you can do with a wolf pup. He says you can train it to fetch things, to attack your enemies, whatever you like. Once you get them young like this, and they'll imprint upon you, and they'll think that you're their mother, and they'll protect you. Tell you what, you can pick one of these two if you do a task for me.
I don't think I'm ready for that level of responsibility.
What would the task be?
Okay, here's the thing. He sort of fidgets a little bit and sort of looks down at the ground. I kind of ruined some very important nectar that we had been preparing for a certain ritual to give to a certain group of druids to feed to a certain creature that slumbers under a certain piece of earth to encourage to stay asleep. And I may have, waves his hand as if trying to summon the words. Lost it.
You're asking us to retrieve the nectar.
No. Listen, I'm going to have to look. I'm going to have to look at the notes as to how we make the stuff, but no, I want you to bring me the ingredients to make more. Ideally, a lot more. Quite marvelous stuff, really.
How long is Dia likely to be with your master?
You guys, what, that old bag? No, that's not my master. Oh God, imagine if I had to work for Iris. No. No.
Sure Brooke just tilts
My
her head a little bit at that.
mistress is out in the woods with the huntmaster. I mean, I imagine that they're, well, perhaps the first thing you could do is maybe get Iris to agree not to tell my mistress about the little mix-up. Just to give us, a little bit of time. Come on, he says. Wolf pup. Who doesn't want a wolf pup?
He's just like, I've messed up. Here are two suckers I can rope into helping me not mess up anymore.
Yeah. I don't think that Norman has that much insight, but Norman also really doesn't trust this guy.
Okay,
He
what about
obviously doesn't care about possessions.
that you're here means they probably turned you away at the gates, right? So, how about, as a sign of good faith, I put in a good word for you. I say I've tested you and you're not of the black blood, and therefore we can let you into the town. You're not of the black blood, are you?
Would either of us be familiar with what the black blood is?
Oh, well. Malarites, lycanthropes.
Oh,
Somewhere between this, he points himself, and that, and points at the wolf cub.
oh goodness! Oh, you have those around here.
I assume I would be well aware if I was a lycanthrope.
I mean, well, have you been bitten by any rabid animals lately before the next full moon?
No.
Okay, well
Oh, I
then.
mean, but just surely, in order to prove that we are not lycanthropes, we must simply stay nearby for a period until the moon becomes full, and then once the moon does become full and we don't turn into rats or wolves, then they'll know.
He shrugs.
Yes, I
I feel kind of bad for making a decision when Dia's not here to bounce ideas with as well.
Dia's just inside working away.
Yeah, when
Yeah,
you guys
exactly.
are happy, we can switch over to Dia whenever you guys are happy with this scene.
Yeah,
I think
I can't think of much else. Norman is very nervous about this man. Doesn't trust him, and but on the other hand, like some of the offers are useful. I mean, if we can get into town, then that means that we can deliver the chest. So Norman is going to wait for further input.
Yeah, I was going to say, let me and my companion here discuss the offer before we make a decision.
All right.
So we can move over.
So meanwhile, inside,
Mhm.
you and the forest gnome woman carefully removing arrows, treating his wounds, binding his face, and soaking the wounds, cleaning them and wrapping them up.
While we're working, speaking in Druidic, I'll just jump right into fully immersing herself. Just opens up with, my name is Dia. I have traveled from very far away. I'm unfamiliar with the land. I'm unfamiliar with the people. What is your name? And what should I know?
Beaming broadly, she sort of slaps the mud-based healing salve she has produced onto his wounds. He says, "My name is Iril Somnibulus. I am from the Drua Wood, though most people call me Iris. A gnomish name. Little bit hard for humans to grasp their heads around so many syllables. I don't personally understand what their problem is. I mean, Iril Somnibulus is the short version. That's just the first, what we would call a syllable of my greater name."
There are a lot of things that humans find hard.
Yes, yes. But then again, there are a lot of things I find hard too.
As do I. Well
So
then.
you must have many questions, traveler from afar.
Several. The first being, do you at all recognize this man?
No, him, no. But this, she taps his breastplate lying on a side table. This, yes.
Do they hail from the nearby settlement or further?
The fort to the south. There are many of them there, but they can be found roaming across the realms, many of them errant and landless, simply seeking adventure and protecting the roads.
I understand. Right. There is a fort to the south. The nearby settlement, then. They would not let us through the gate.
He nods.
Why?
Very suspicious they are. In
Suspicious.
times past, the Moonwood was free and safe. No danger to those who rode through its southern woods. But now the people of the Black Blood come. I
Black
suppose
blood.
a balance is met somewhat.
Black blood?
Yes. They hunt the strong, but they spare the weak. That's something, I suppose.
Something. Right. They will not let us in because they suspect that we may be black blood. I don't entirely know what that means, but that is fine. An adventurer traveling on the road, attacked by goblins.
Goblins?
And
She says.
yes,
No goblins in these parts for many, many a year.
well, there are goblins now. And they did this.
She shakes her head. I suppose we should send word to the fort then, or perhaps wait for Mistress Clearwater to return. She will know what to do.
A leader?
I suppose. There is the speaker who rules the town, but in times of danger, they all turn to Mistress Clearwater.
Clearwater. Understood. My companions and I had a destination. I suspect we are not near it. And please remind me, the player. Silvery Moon?
Silvery Moon, yes.
Silvery Moon. Okay.
Silvery Moon, the jewel of the north.
Mm.
A little busy for my tastes. But what would I know? Certainly. All roads lead to Silvery Moon in the end. South and east. She nods twice.
Southeast. Thank you. If Silvery Moon is southeast, the fort is south, perhaps me and my companions can deliver word on our travel. I don't know how long it will take us, but it's something we could do if goblins are unusual. I feel like I need to ask this man more questions. We've been charged with protecting something, and I don't know enough information about it. So it would be nice to be able to speak with him. But I imagine it'll be a while before he can speak.
It is probably best that we keep him sleeping for now. Probably best that he remains numb. Does not feel what his body needs to go through in order to heal.
How long do you think?
Not long. Or perhaps long.
Uncertain. Understood. Right. Thank you for helping him.
I hear your friends murmuring outside. I hope that they are level-headed and not foolish. For Dobreth is a fool of the highest order, and if he is filling their heads with nonsense, then I fear you shall have your work cut out for you.
One of them is not a fool. The other I have yet to read. I should step outside with them, however. I don't want to keep them, and I'm hoping that we both have information to share with one another.
I shall send word, haps by sparrow, when your ward has awoken.
I appreciate it. Sparrow. I'll keep my eyes open for it. Are we intruding if we stay or if we linger? Or should you like us to step away?
All are welcome to come.
Thank you. Thank you very much. If there is anything that we can do to assist you, let us know, please. If it's within our ability to do so, I'm sure we can. At the very least, repaying the good deed here.
He smiles broadly. Aren't you sweet? Like sugar.
I have my moments. When I try hard enough. I'll step outside.
Let me give you some food for the road, she says.
Oh, yes, thank you.
She fetches you some dried carrot sticks.
Yes. He is hyped. Thank you.
Let's go!
Fucking carrot sticks, yes!
Hell yeah!
Yes!
Does a little fist bump.
Do you taste them?
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet. Food is for sharing.
Okay.
Not yet. But like Dia's like, all right, let's go. Food. The bows ahead and thanks and makes her way out. Side to meet up with the others. Not really watching where she's walking. I will note, like stepping backwards outside.
Okay.
I don't know if that interacts with wolves in any way.
Certainly, we could say you stumble back over some wolf pups, who then immediately sort of jump on top of you and sort of like, little yappy noises, and
No.
they immediately start wrestling with each other for who takes the point of supremacy on top of you.
Thea just lays in the dirt, so looks back up at Norman and Brooke, like, accepts that this is where Dia lives now, is in the dirt underneath these pups.
I have found my new home.
And looks in heaven, like absolutely, like, yes, this is perfect.
I have arrived.
This is the ideal. I am living my ideal life. There's dogs, there's carrots. Everyone speaks the same language as me. I'm thrilled. Druidic is, common, like it, I can communicate. Perfect. Relays. Oh, well, is there anybody else? Is Darbeth still nearby?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Opens her mouth to speak. Notes Darbeth. Sort of like gives him the like look up and down, sizing him up, sort of thing. And then looks back over Norman and and Brooke, like, I have some more useful information and carrots.
Oh, carrots, you say? Excellent,
Try
excellent.
carrot stick.
Norman will happily eat a carrot stick.
So
Dia's
these carrot sticks, they're not just raw. These have been they have been boiled in water, treated with honey, and then dried out with salt.
Oh. I'd eat that IRL.
yeah.
Yes, honey salted carrot sticks. Ambrosia.
Oh. Well,
Good shit.
Dia will sort of hand over like the little bag or whatever has been had, like, you know, they're trying to avoid the pups. At the same time, try to sort of hand it over. It was like, don't eat it all. Save some. I haven't had any yet. But yes, I have some information. Our friend, oh, please don't lick my face. Okay. Our friend in there is going to be out for the count for a bit while he recovers. I'm not sure how long recovery will take, but I have directions and some other information. Points directly at Dobreth, and without trying to be subtle, what's the read on him?
Well, he does. Norman is going to try and criticism sandwich this. He does think that he can get us into the town.
Great.
But he also
He does finger guns at you.
He also is interested in breaking into this chest that we were asked to deliver. But he may be able to. Well, no, and but he could also possibly provide us with one of these wolf pups.
Oh.
She's asking for us to fix one of his problems that he caused himself, most likely.
Dia sort of looking directly at Dobreth. You're not going to touch that chest again. I sunk energy into protecting that. And now that I've sunk some energy into protecting it, I'm going to continue protecting it until it's where it needs to go. See, also, I used a spell slot for this guy. Don't go stealing it.
Okay, it's your chest.
Yes.
Good.
Well, it does seem like they appear to have you know, of like Hanthropy. There appear to be lycanthropes around the town. You know, were-rats and werewolves and other such were creatures. They are.
I am aware.
Yes.
Anyway, cool. Is that why they won't let us in?
It seems to be a possibility.
Oh. Okay. Cool. All right, pups, please. The energy doesn't stop. I would like to try to animal handling my way to standing upright.
Okay.
This is going to go very well.
Okay.
It might. +3.
You can roll if you like.
Yeah. I don't know what the DC would be. But I don't want to just like push them off me. I want to command them off me.
Okay.
Potentially. Try to. No.
Okay.
So like just a off sit trying to give some kind of little command.
All right, there is a bit of like nipping at your fingers and such, but they get off you.
Good. Stand upright to my full height of not very much.
Mm-hmm.
Dust myself off a little bit. Doesn't do anything. I'm still covered in mud, but dust myself off a little bit. So what's the problem you want fixing?
Okay. Well, we need to gather some nectar for an important druidic function.
Oh. And in Druidic, what's the function?
He looks at you, kind of like surprised, actually.
And Dia nods and says yes. What's the function? What's the event? What's the nectar for? I'm curious.
Oh, we're feeding some creatures of the deep woods.
Ooh. That's interesting. So you've been charged with making it?
I suppose so. I suppose so. Yes. Yes, I certainly I need much more of it than I currently have.
Can I please roll an insight check
Certainly.
on this fella?
I don't think I do. No, I'm good. Sorry, that was my mum.
All good.
No worries. That's a 24 for insight.
Okay.
Nice.
This dude is shuffling his feet and is looking at the ground, and he's kind of, like shifted his collar around a bit. This guy is clearly, he's giving off the shifty vibes.
More of it than you currently have.
Yes,
Implying that there was a supply. Or is a supply that is less than it should be.
it got misplaced, he says. And it's very important that we get more.
Misplaced.
Yes.
I almost want to step in here and just say he lost it.
Oh, we're speaking Druidic.
Yeah.
That's why I said I almost want to, but then I remember I don't speak Druidic.
Dia is going to essentially code switch back to our shared tongue.
Mm-hmm.
Alzedo.
Chondathan.
Chondathan.
Or Chondathan, yeah.
We have the outsider with us as well.
The outsider.
I speak Chondathan, but none of these other things.
Switching back. Misplaced. Do you remember where you were when you lost it?
Look, the important thing is that I need more.
Hmm.
And it's not just about me.
Hmm. Right. I'm going to have a word with these two. We might help you. I might be more inclined to help you if you remember where you lost it. And Dia's going to pull Norman and Brooke away to have a little chat. Just on that, little like, you be honest with me and I might be more inclined. And Dia opens the conversation, like, pulls them both away to somewhere that's like a little bit more, there's less likely to be listening ears. The first thing that she says is, I want one of those wolves. They're so cute. They're so cute. They're so
I
cute.
mean,
And they're fluffy. And they're fun. And I have already named them in my brain. And I want one. But I don't think right now that it's wise for me to like it's we have other priorities, and wolves are persistent. Um there will always be other wolves. So I don't have to have that wolf specifically, but I need it known that I've bonded. Now,
yes.
the information that I have. Um and Thea is gonna relay sort of directions like the Knights of the Unicorn have a fort to the south, and Silvery Moon is to the southeast of here. So we have at least a heading, a direction we can go in to get to the destination that we were supposed to.
Unfortunately, we still don't actually know to where the chest was bound.
No.
Perhaps the other knights would know. Perhaps Sir Thoromus would have told the other knights.
We could linger in the area and wait for him to wake. Iris inside is going to send word when he has awoken. So there is, opportunity for us to come back to help. But that thing's heavy. If we're planning on traveling around and doing other things, we need to work out a place to keep it. Or we need to keep it with Kim. But now that I know that one of them has eyes on it, I'm less inclined. There is a leader of sorts that's supposed to be returning to the camp soon, at Clearwater. And we could speak with them more.
Is this the leader among these druids? I believe that she was mentioned.
The leadership is in times of trouble. They look to Clearwater. She's not always leader, but she's leader now. You understand?
Oh yes, of course, yes.
Right. We could wait, talk to her some more. Getting into the settlement nearby could also be useful. More information, always a good thing to have. We could just walk up and, tell them we're not werewolves.
Oh,
They'll have
I
no
mean-
inclination to believe us.
Oh, damn! You're right.
We're not-
Werewolves can lie.
I suppose, but we're telling the truth.
I mean, yes. Well, we would be telling the
Surely
truth.
they would be able to see that we're telling the truth. Like,
I tend to agree.
People whose minds are inflicted with paranoia will see enemies even when there aren't any.
Oh, I don't think that's fair.
maybe not fair, but true.
It is
Oh.
practical.
Well, there must is there? I'm no expert on these things. Are there tests that you can perform to demonstrate that you are not a werewolf? I mean, we could simply wait until the next full moon, and then once the full moon passes and we don't turn into rats or wolves or anything else, then they'll know that we're not werewolves. But I'm not sure what the phase of the moon is at the moment. It might be several weeks before we could prove that.
Ayo DM.
Are we willing to wait that long?
Ayo DM.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a druid. Do I know What's the roll for?
It is about
What's the roll for?
It's about a week from full moon.
So yeah, I'm fully aware. Okay, cool.
Yes, it is the same moon over these lands as the lands you came from.
Right. Cool. So yes, a week. And do I know of any sort of like tests or things to prove? Like, do I know anything about that?
Let me just check something real quick. I'm just going to check this creature type of a werewolf. It's an aberration, humanoid, or yeah, it's a humanoid shape changer. Okay, a history check would do then.
I am not proficient, but I will try anyway. It's a flat roll. Nah.
Womp.
Oh. It's a week till full moon, but other than that, I don't know.
I suppose we could ask them if they have any tests that they have that any not waiting for the next full moon kind of tests, but
There is one more thing.
the guards did not strike me as being particularly helpful.
No, they seemed pretty grumpy. There is one other thing. Goblins are unusual. They are not common in this area. When I mentioned that the attack was goblins, Iris seemed shocked. Mentioned that there hadn't been goblins in these parts for many, many years. So they are unusual.
And
That is another potential thread to chase to see what's going on here.
well, Sir Thoromus said that a goblin surrendered to him as a prisoner, but then that was a deception. That presumably the prisoner somehow led the other goblins to the cart. That is that would imply that there are many goblins, or enough goblins to form a complex strategy.
But they are not common.
So perhaps a new tribe of goblins has immigrated to these parts.
Perhaps. That's possible. Just relaying what I've been told. Now, all of that information, sort of like packaged up neatly, there are, I suppose, a few things that we could do around here. We could simply leave the chest with the knight here and carry on, continue to travel, or we could pull at some of these threads. And I am very much curious about what's going on.
Coming to this part of the world or not,
Um,
the goblins will continue to be a threat to anybody who tries to travel along these roads.
Yes,
Yes, that is true.
wiping them out cannot hurt. Now, helping with nectar, he probably drunk it, right? I mean, look at him. Look at the way he was talking about it. He drunk it.
Oh, that kind of nectar. Oh.
What
He
kind
did
of
say
nectar
that
did you?
He did say that the effect of drinking the nectar was to keep something asleep that would be better off kept asleep.
Oh dear, I'd been assuming that it was magical this whole time. Oh.
It can be magical and a drink. It could be both.
Norman
But-
has not considered this possibility before. I'm just pulling faces and.
Both? Something that's magical and a drink at the same time? What could that possibly be? I don't know. A potion.
Just Brooke,
Norman has
Brooke
touched
physically
alcohol
looking down at the
approximately
3
twice.
potions of healing that are in her backpack.
Yeah, like
But Norman is now thinking about magical alcohol. Norman has touched alcohol approximately twice in his entire life. He is.
Yeah, to shove it away and say no thanks.
Most of the time, yes.
but Dia continues with his motivation maybe. He screwed up and he needs somebody to clean up his mistake.
He did also ask us to make sure that his actual master would not find out.
Oh, that's fun.
That's the laugh of a dibber-dobber, if ever I've heard one.
Oh, we could be cruel. Oh, we could be mean. Oh, this is too. We can hold that over him. We could. I'm not saying we should, but we could. We could hold that over him. Or we could just tell everybody what's going on and get him in trouble. But regardless of whether or not people know about it, if there is an important ritual to these people, and this nectar is key to it, I would like to help them, if nothing else, as a gesture of thanks for the fact that they have helped save someone's life. And they welcomed us in without any question. There's still a lot that I have to learn about Druidic tradition. But what I do know is that I have great respect for it. And I feel like it should be respected. And so if there's something that we can do to help maintain a tradition here, also because I kind of want to know what they're feeding it to, and like, you know, is it actually a big bad scary thing? Is it like, is it an imaginary sort of like folk tale thing where they're just pouring it in the grass? Like, is there like an actual like beast? Like, how big is it? Do you think it has lots and lots of teeth? Do you think it breathes fire? What if it doesn't breathe fire?
An
Anyway.
embarrassing racist uncle that as long as they give him booze, he doesn't come to Thanksgiving.
Whatever it may be. I kind of want to know what it is. And I kind of want to know what's going on. And I also kind of want to know what the nectar tastes like. So I think we should make it. Or I think we should get the
Well, you're
ingredients
not
to make
just
it.
disavowing him for supposedly drinking that same nectar.
Yeah, but this is for his people and his traditions. I'm not part of the people. I'm not part of the... But I guess a little sip can't hurt. Anyway. Regardless.
If I may make a suggestion, perhaps we should wait for this Clearwater to return and ask Clearwater about the nectar without letting her know that Dobreth lost the nectar.
How would we know about the nectar if not been told about it? And why would we be told about it if we're outsiders who just arrived?
Could you Druid language? You
And in Druidic, I would like to say, just because I say something in Druidic doesn't make it convincing. And then, sort of shake my head at myself, switch back. I would like to help make the nectar. I would like to work out where the goblins came from and potentially wipe them out. I would like to learn more information about the settlement nearby. And I would like to linger until the night is awake. At least nearby. You know, within, like, flight distance. Just in case. Because if he could help us get further south, it could be useful.
He could put in a good word for us at the capital.
He could. Helping is good. So, are we all agreed? We're gonna hunt some goblins and make some nectar, and we can still wait for Clearwater to arrive. But
I'm not opposed to the idea of hunting the goblins
no,
or making the nectar.
okay.
If you are as
Oh,
fond of
yes,
the
well-
wolf pups as you are espousing.
It could be important. And if it's
I
helpful
mean,
to
yes,
the
fighting against banditry is a valuable endeavor. And then perhaps we should. I mean, if we are in the parts of the forest where the nectar is to be found, if the goblins are near the nectar, then yes.
well, yeah, could be two birds, one stone. Not that I condone killing birds with stones.
Yes, it is a rather violent expression.
Let's find out what the nectar needs while we wait for Clearwater.
Yes.
And then we'll go hunt some goblins.
Very well.
Thea's gonna stroll, like, walk with a purpose, directly to Dobreth.
It looks like in the time you guys have been speaking, the pups have entered sleepy mode and he's gathering them up in his arms in like a cloak.
Oh, they're so cute. Oh, they're so adorable. Oh my gosh. Hmm. Their approach. Is Dobreth like a gnome as well, or
He's a human.
he's human, right? So looking up, then
Mm-hmm.
you.
Me.
What does your nectar need?
Okay, I'll have to get back to you on that. I'll just have to sneak a look at my mistress's notes, but I know that there are some pretty basic herbs that I can get, and anything more exotic, well, that I can bring to you.
Right. Okay. Sneakery. You're on your own there.
Okay.
Now,
Like I said, if you could just put in a word, maybe tell Iris that you're on the job and that, she doesn't need to bring it up to Clearwater because it's all going to be fine.
so Iris knows that it's missing.
Well, yes.
If you
Yes,
want,
yes.
if you want our help, honesty will go a long way.
That shifts awkwardly.
So, Iris sort of knows. What does Iris sort of know?
She is the one who found that it was missing.
Ah. I did offer her assistance with anything that the camp might need.
Well, there you go.
So thank you.
Settled.
So, I'll go inside and talk to her. She might be able to give me the list without you sneaking around. But if not, you should go and sneak around. And we will see. It is not a guarantee. We will see. We have other things to do as well. Do the pups have names?
No, not yet. I was... Well, you can name one, and, whoever I give the other one to can name the other one.
I'll hold on to my name until
Well, there you go.
the other end of the... But I have one. But I'm holding on to it. Because if I name one, and then I can't take it with me, I will be brokenhearted. And I will blame you. Let me go talk to Iris.
Okay.
I'm assuming people are following Dia, but Dia is just like, okay, I have my tasks, let's go.
Yeah.
Dia is not waiting. Dia is not.
Norman is
up.
going to wait outside the house just because he doesn't want to, bend down and bang his head on the ceiling again.
Oh.
All right.
Mm.
So back inside.
A little knock, not entirely unannounced, but a knock as she enters. She's not waiting for permission to enter. She's knocking as she enters.
Okay. Back inside. Iris is sopping the brow of the unconscious knight. He briefly came to.
Mm. Oh.
Muttered something about revenge and then went to sleep again.
Oh, yes. We have been tasked with a quest of vengeance. I've heard that there might be a way that we can help out as a thank you. Apparently there is...
He raised an eyebrow.
Apparently there is something missing that needs to be replaced. Nectar?
Puffs a little bit and puts their hands. I'll wager he probably sold it or something. I mean, that's where he traded it for those wolf cubs or something.
I wouldn't know, because he didn't tell me.
Well, as long as he's not drinking it or giving it to anybody to drink.
Well, again, he didn't tell me. What I have been told is that it needs replacing. And if there is a way that we can help with gathering supplies for it, we could always see what we can do.
She sighs. I suppose it will need replacing, yes. Not that I'm not going to rake his feet over the coals any less for it, but...
I fully expect it. But...
a number of herbs I should be able to gather myself or send that fool to gather.
Mm-hmm.
The final ritual, it will have to be performed by Clearwater herself, but shavings of the velvet off a periton's horn, and a couple of drops of blood from a dryad. Those are the ingredients I recall.
Dia blinks. Like, she was expecting something she could gather. With a little more ease than that. And particularly at the dryad. She's like, I make no guarantees, but we can try.
The hell are we even find a dryad?
Don't know where we're gonna find it. Where are we gonna find it? What? Dryads? A lot of drop of blood? Like 1 drop of blood? Like 3 drops of blood? Like should I bring like a vial? Like, does it have to be fresh? Like,
At the very least, it doesn't seem like we'll need to kill the dryad necessarily to gather its blood.
I hope not. Where would one find a dryad?
Dryads reside within the Moonwood, and peritons inhabit, in fact, infest rather, any mountain slope in this region.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. We can, again, no guarantees, but we'll try. We'll see. We'll try. Would we I suppose we could start there. If there's anything else that's needed, I'm guessing clear water would know.
She shakes her head. I suppose I should send a sparrow to Clearwater, tell her to come back post haste.
There's not a huge rush. We have other things that we can busy ourselves with.
Carrying out the goblins for one.
Goblins. There's also the matter of a chest that belongs with this man here. That's too heavy for us to just carry with us.
I can keep it safe with him.
Thank you. Of everything that he traveled with, he stated it was very important. I don't want anything to happen to it. Put a lot of energy into protecting that. Okay. I will make a note if we come across any either of those ingredients. We will bring them back. Should we? We'll help. We'll try to help. Thank you. There's nothing else you can remember. We've got to wait for.
I suppose I shall have to ask Clearwater directly, or perhaps she made some notes somewhere. I don't.
Well, we can wait to ask it directly. That's better, I think. Well, generally better to ask rather than to snoop. All right. Thank you. We'll do what we can. Let's head back outside and relay this to Norman and make a plan.
Very well.
I'm back outside.
So, says Dorbreath, I suppose you'll be wanting to be let into Quavar now. Might as well head on over. He scoops up the wolf cubs in his cloak, holds it in his arms.
Deer sort of shrugs, looks at Norman, sort of.
What time of day is it? Like, are we getting like into the
evening?
Sunset-y
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's probably in character there. It's probably a good idea for us to find the inn, to get some rest before we do other things.
Yeah, sure. Can't hurt. Brooke?
Very well.
Okay. Quiver.
All right, so taking the forest path back to the wood settlement, the wood encircled settlement where you were previously denied entry, you now find the guards, as if anticipating your return, standing outside the gate, the two you saw before, and also a large, dark-skinned man, not incredibly tall, but certainly broad, carrying a heavy two-handed maul that rests on the ground.
Huh.
As you approach, he comes in a clearer view, and you see his skin is oddly sort of cracked, as if having the surface of stone, almost like tectonic plates joined together, and his bald head is encircled by a number of odd, clear stones set into his skull.
Hmm.
As you approach, the guards sort of point you guys out as like, that's the one, Sergeant. Man impassively watches you with his yellow eyes as you approach.
Yes. Hello. Um, we are travelers. We found Sir Thorimus in the woods being attacked by bandits. We've
Man looks at you sternly. Where do you come from?
we come from the Raven's Banner on a diplomatic mission.
He looks at the guards one by one, who each shrug. Where are you headed?
We were headed to Silvery Moon.
Yep.
Dobra speaks up, but we beg permission to stay at the fine establishment of the Whistling Stag. I vouch for them.
Yes.
I vouch for them. He points at you one by one. Definitely not werewolves.
Dia gives 2 thumbs up.
We will see, says the man. Reaches down, takes out his coin purse, and takes out a silver piece. And unless you stop him, he reaches forward, and I guess, let's say Norman first. He presses the silver piece against your forehead.
Oh, very clever, because of course, I'd heard that lycanthropes were vulnerable to silver. It's a smart idea. Yes.
Then presses it against Brooke's forehead.
I don't think she really does anything except just stare back evenly with the eyes she doesn't currently have.
Yep. And then Dia.
Yeah, Dia stands ground very proudly, even like offers skin. Like offers her arm. Like, yeah. Go for it. Yeah, like Dia is small, but Dia has the, small dog energy of I am actually as tall as you.
Watching
matter how
each of
tall they
your
are.
reactions carefully, he nods.
Tiny but mighty.
Yes.
My name is Undereth. I am protector of this town. You may keep your weapons within the walls so long as you cause no trouble.
I've never caused any trouble in my life.
Fighting, drunkenness, Argumentative natures, anything that displeases me, and I shall take them from you.
Of course. No, no, no. I assure you, we will be model guests.
My order refrains from the consumption of alcohol regardless.
Very
Yes,
well. He jerks a thumb in the direction of the gate, and it is slowly winched up until it is raised about 6 feet off the ground, letting you guys step inside, just kind of ducking your head underneath.
Is Debreth coming in with us?
Yep, he comes in with.
Alright, cool.
Inside is fairly close together thatch-roofed houses. Some of them reaching second story, some of them more to like mounds in the earth burrowed out into a home. There's a quaint, though beautiful in its own way, small settlement. You estimate no more than 1,000 people could live here. You see a mix of humans, a few half-elves, even a scattering of dwarves.
Hmm.
As you walk down the street, people looking at you, sort of immediately marking you as strangers. You woman sort of close the shutters over her mud brick window as you go past. A dog comes out and sort of sniffs at you guys, or skittering away when you sort of, perhaps if you try to interact with it.
Oh, Dia will.
And
100%.
as you walk towards one impressive building, it seems as if this town was built up around a 2-story inn built of fine wood, painted eggshell white, with the dark wood boards framing the wall panels. It has a second floor balcony and the stairs leading up to the front gate, to the front doors. Has a small, beautiful garden there with a silver-leafed tree growing in the courtyard. Some children play around the tree. As you start to approach the inn, Dobrith leans over and he says, Okay. I'm a level with you guys. I kind of like some of the, the barmaids here, so if I spin a little bit of a story about these wolves, just go along with it. And he gives you a double thumbs up.
Dia stares up, deadpan.
Norman is mostly confused.
And
Brooke just gives it a single, approaching something of a look and just goes, pathetic.
I'm sure the tale of you vanquishing these babies will be very exciting to the women.
As you approach, you see some of the children are sort of standing on each other's shoulders, trying to reach like a silver blossom growing on from the trees, freshly sprouted silver leaves. All of a sudden, the doors of the inn burst open, and a woman, a blonde-haired human woman, comes out onto the front steps there and hurls a pot of water at the kids. "Get out of here," she says, and they all sort of scatter. She waves her fist, shakes at them. "Don't you dare go picking the flowers! I see you there!" Puts her hands on her hips, shakes her head. Here's young, attractive, perhaps early 20s, A woman, her hair is sort of blonde hair, is tied in a number of plaits back behind her hair. On the second floor balcony above that, there is a raven-haired, quite pale woman sitting at watching the display below in a kind of a bemused manner.
Dia desperately wants one of those flowers. Oh, we're gonna resist the urge. We're gonna keep walking toward the bar. We're gonna resist the urge. Dia's internal monologue is, "Don't pick it. Don't
He
pick it."
makes an
No,
exasperated
don't do
noise
it.
and walks back inside. And
Just walk inside. Don't do it. Don't pick the flower. Don't pick the flower. Just walk inside. Don't pick it.
it's a
Don't
bit
pick
out of your
it.
reach anyway.
Yeah, yeah. More than likely, yes.
Inside,
Do I? Oh,
it is a beautifully appointed tavern, uh, ale house / drinking hall. At the centerpiece of the room is a stone fire pit in a roughly circular shape where coals sort of burn hot, spreading the warmth throughout the room. Above it is a large chimney scoop to guide the smoke away from the rest of the chamber. A well-appointed bar, and various trophies of various creatures, like a hunting lodge, lie across the walls, perhaps the centerpiece of which, above the bar itself, is the huge head of a deer-like creature with wolf teeth like a wolf, and the remnants of a lion-like mane around its neck that, as you draw closer, you observe are feathered, and huge antlers, like stag antlers, coming from its head.
that's gotta be a creature, right? That's not necessarily asked out loud. That's just that's void. Like that's gotta be that's gotta be what it looks like.
Brooke taps her feet on the ground a couple of times and then just looks up. I can make out its general shape, but what it is beyond my knowledge.
Dia taps. I'm guessing Dobreth is still nearby.
Yeah,
Or has he-
Dobreth walks right up to the bar and he opens up his cloak, the bundle of his cloak, to show the barmaid woman the wolf pups, and you see her eyes just kind of open wide and her face just kind of melts as she's just like, oh, they're so cute.
They are very cute. They are very cute. Dia's gonna follow.
Is that jealousy I hear?
I'm one of those puppies is mine. One of them's mine. I named it. Not out loud yet, but I named it. One of them's mine, so I'd have nothing to be jealous about.
She sort of rubs one of it along its spine, and it sort of wakes up a little bit to yawn and then closes its eyes again, and she just kind of, like, just full of nervous energy, almost jumps up and down on the spot as to how adorable they are. Impressive, huh? Says Dobreth. I suppose you'd like to know how I came across these specimens. He looks back at you guys and winks.
Thea rolls her eyes.
Norman, I don't think that Norman wants to partake in this. I think that Norman wants to go to the other end of the bar and find whoever's in charge of rooms.
There's just a long sigh that comes out of Brooke.
The raven-haired woman comes down a staircase from one end of the room and sort of, having watched you guys walked in, she makes her way down slowly in no rush at all, wiping down her hands from some ink stains on her hands and wanders down to Norman. Meanwhile, Dobreth begins his tale. I would like to introduce you to my adventuring party. He gestures towards the rest of you guys. We call ourselves, his eyes glance around the room, the Fires of Justice. It was with the aid of my companions here that we rescued these cubs from their mother having been slain by a fierce earth elemental. They had wandered into its territory. The thing came up from the ground and simply swallowed the mother wolf into the ground entirely, dragged it down, yelping and calling. Knowing that we would hear the cubs' distress calls and come to their aid, such that it could ambush us. But we were ready. We did battle, and we slew the earth elemental, retrieving a number of precious gems from its core. And I brought back these wolf cubs to safety, such that we might find them a new home. Now, you wouldn't know anybody who would want to take care of a wolf cub, would you?
I'm pretty sure there's a moment where Brooke just turns to Dia's general direction and just goes, exactly how long will you give it before he pokes holes in his own story?
I kind of want to watch him burn.
Norman heard the Fires of Justice part and he's like, oh, damn, that's pretty good.
Write that down!
I'll
The woman
be-
leans in and she's like, oh, can I? The dark-haired woman sort of raises her hand to you, Norman, and she says, just a moment. And she starts to wander over to her and says, what have we got there, Raylan? A couple of mutts. Yes, says Dobreth. How are you doing, Brianna? I was just saying to Raylan here that, I thought that perhaps you might like to have a mascot to this place. So, yes, you knew this earth elemental, did you? Oh, why, do you mean, Brianna? Well, you said it knew that you would come to the aid of the wolves. So it knew you were coming, it knew you were going to be there, and it knew how you were going to act. And how do you know what it was thinking? Did you ask it? Did it tell you? Do you speak the tongue of the earth elementals?
Thea tries to catch eye contact with the breath and winks at him and says nothing.
He sort of makes like a little kind of a head gesture towards you, like, jump on in any time.
Thea, just a slight shake of the head, kind of mouths a, you got this. It's all you, bud. Be impressive. Dia's genuinely delighting in the fact that this man is putting his foot in his mouth.
The dark-haired woman puts her hands on his hips. So, you want to gift us a puppy. Blonde woman's like, can we, Brianna? I suppose, do what you want, sister. But I think our apprentice druid friend here has brought us something more valuable than a pet. He has brought us, indeed, he has brought himself a new nickname. Is that not right, Dog Breath? Dog Breath's face just sort of turns red. Just from his neck, you just watch the blood seep up to his forehead.
Now Dia chimes in with a, oh, come on, it doesn't smell that bad. That's the comment that Dia has, is it doesn't smell that bad.
The dark-haired woman just sort of like kind of makes eye contact with you and smirks, seeming to take pleasure in his discomfort. And he stammers out something about taking care of it and allows the blonde-haired girl to select one of the wolves. And he just wraps the other one in the cloak and just beats a quick retreat from the room.
Dia tries to stop him. You know, tries to halt him with like a, you know,
Yeah, you
a
can
quick
just sort of,
like, yeah, like a hey. Deep breath. Notice how I didn't use the nickname? Is he stopping? Is he stopping to talk to
he
me? Or
stops.
is he being
Yeah, he stops.
Dia kind of makes a gesture to like, hey, get down on my eye level, please. Okay, come on, down here. Down you get.
It kind
Dia
of looks
wants
over his shoulder at Brianna, who just kind of like inclines her head a little bit and points down as well.
Like, come on. Eye contact. Direct eye contact. Look at me, man.
He sort of straightens up a little bit, makes himself a little bit taller, but looks down at you.
Uneven. That's fine. That's fine. I was about to give you a pep talk. But, I mean, you know, that's fine. I'm short. What of it? You're fine. You can cut. Nicknames don't always stick, okay? You know, there's. You could get a new nickname. Totally fine. Totally fine. You did great. You did great. She's over the moon.
That's right.
Still.
That's
Okay,
right.
even with the
It's just a passing
even
thing.
with
Not
yeah,
gonna catch on.
yeah. It'll fade. It'll fade, right? Like, surely it's not the first time you've been called that.
He blinks several times in quick succession. Wait, what are you saying?
That's the first time you've been called.
He breathes into his hand and sort of sniffs it.
No. It's nothing to do with. Never mind. Look, Bud. I think you did fine anyway. Okay? Now, don't give away that one. This is the most important thing. More important than your ego. If you give away that pup right there, I'm going to be devastated. And I'll never, ever emotionally recover. Do you understand?
He nods rapidly. Absolutely. A little bit of his confidence returns, and he's like, I got you. Gives a little one-handed finger gun.
Good. All right, you can get up. Off you go.
Okay. He sort of turns back and sort of bows to the room. Ladies. The two barmaids just in exact unison just say, bye, dog breath. And he just beats a steady retreat from the room.
And
What have you done to the poor man?
Dia mutters to Brooke,
Hello,
like,
911, I've witnessed a murder.
Dia mutters to Brooke, like, "It's not going to be a passing thing. He's going to be called Dog Breath till the day he dies."
Why on earth would you give him such false hope? Although you can definitely tell that she's also amused by what's just transpired as well.
Yeah, like, well, it's fun. Harmless fun. Because now he's going to try and fix it. Anyway, we should get a room to rest. Dia approaches Norman, and I assume Norman's been...
Yes, I mean Norman is up the other end of the bar. I was at least trying to get someone's attention and ask about rooms and food for the night.
Yes. Having defeated her foe, a smirking Brianna, the dark-haired woman, sort of is ready to take your order. While the other one, Raylan, is setting up, finding a basket and blankets to set up the dog within, and go. And it seems like she's settled on the name Flower. I'm going to call it Flower.
Oh,
Aww.
oh, oh, that is
Here
precious.
you go, Flower. Little bed for you and a little blanky wanky.
Oh, that's so cute. Hmm. How goes it, Norman?
Well, how does it go? Have I managed to get rooms? Oh,
Well, we've got the attention of
yes. So well, if you have rooms, I believe that we should all be perfectly fine in the same room, so long as there are the three beds. Assuming I would swear by any god that you could name, I would never do anything untoward, of course. What food? What sorts of food are being prepared this evening?
Sort of looks at you deadpan for a few moments. Relax. Sort of makes like a motion, like sort of like lowering something. Relax.
I am relaxed.
We
This is
have
my
rooms.
relaxed place.
2 beds. One of you, okay, sleeping on the floor?
yes.
Okay. She gives a thumbs up.
Sleep on the ground anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll be great. How much do we owe you?
Tell you what. Since you entertained me, gave me some entertainment, give you the room for 2 gold for tonight. How does that sound?
Huh, 2
Oh,
gold. I happen to have 2 gold handy right here.
I'm happy to, but if you don't mind.
You happy to what?
Well, I mean, I could also. I have a few gold pieces I could also pay.
And put
Oh,
one coin towards it each.
okay. We'll split it then. Sure,
Oh
2
yes,
gold.
that yeah, all
Sorted.
right. Yeah, I'll pay 1 gold and you'll pay 1 gold.
Done.
He takes the gold, taps them on the table, and they disappear into her apron. Well then,
Sure, that Minotaur.
the fires of justice, she smirks. I welcome you to the Whistling Stag Inn.
I hate to admit it, but I do like that name.
We don't. That's not what we're called.
Are you sure?
Well, yes, I think that's just.
I do not believe we've actually created a name yet.
No, we haven't, because we're just 3 people traveling. Thank you for the welcome, but Fires of justice. I don't want to be known as the fires of justice.
Oh, all right, we'll talk about it later. So what sorts of food do you have?
You'll have to make do with cold cuts and bread until we get dinner sorted if you're hungry now. Otherwise, we shall be doing the main meal in a couple of hours. Feel free to make
Sounds good.
yourselves comfortable.
All right, going up to the room. D is like, yep, cool. I'll make myself comfy.
I don't think I'm particularly hungry at the moment either, so I'll probably just. I assume I'm sharing a room with Dia.
Oh, I think we're all sharing a room, and D is sleeping on the floor.
Fair enough.
Is the established?
All
Yeah.
right. So, having made our way to the Land of the Silver Marches, having established lodgings for ourselves and gathered together a scattering of quest clues, I am aware that we have reached the time at which we had set for the runtime of this first session, so it seems like a good time to end. I hope you guys had a lot of fun. I certainly did, and I got exactly what I wanted, which was to measure the pacing at which you guys roleplay. So I know
Yeah,
how much
that's
to
great.
prepare ahead and how to pace the games.
Yeah.
You know, we're still trying to find a groove. I think a dynamic, but
Yeah.
I mean, we're all relatively fresh characters, so we're
Yes.
probably not going to have a solid dynamic for at least a couple sessions.
Oh yes, and I'm going to throw a spanner into that works by providing a rotating cast. So, good luck with that.
Oh, that'd be great.
Mm.
But that means we can organize our next session for literally any time that you guys
Hooray.
can get 4 people together.
Hooray!
Awesome.
Sounds like a
Um,
plan.
Oh, there's still so much bullshit that we have to navigate before we can go to sleep, like Norman demanding a vegetarian meal and Norman trying to think of a way of not impugning his honor or the honor of the women that he's traveling with.
Yeah. Yeah, like inside when you said that, Brianna's like, weird detail, didn't ask. Now I wasn't worried about that before, now am
There's only one
somewhat.
bed.
Norman was raised by a paladin.
But yeah, this was so much fun.
Meanwhile, I think Brooke was raised to overall not give a fuck.
Yeah, I tried to give you guys a bit of a theme of like the nature and the environment to set the sort of give you some senses to
Yeah, no,
you can gradually fill it in.
that was real good stuff. I was picking
Yeah.
that really well.
Yeah, that intro was improvised, by the way.
Damn. Okay. All right. If I'd known that, I would have snapped. You know. Fucking vape pouch. Damn. Damn.
It's snappy.
Anyway, so the questions remain: what lies within the mysterious chest? Can dog breath be trusted? What?
No. The answer is no.
Yes. That's like in academic writing, I have a particular rule that any essay that includes a question in the title, the answer is always no.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, because if they had something, they'd fucking say it.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway. And that also applies for any documentaries you watch. You see they're going, was there an ancient civilization that predated humanity? No. Anyway.
It works for science journalism too.
Oh yeah.
Everything.
Was Darwin wrong? No.
Yeah.
No.
Is there a mysterious missing element in our periodic tables?
No.
Does the geometry of the moon indicate life existing upon there in ancient times? Anyway.
Will this group ever write a clean outro?
Will I ever
No.
become a professional DM and run this shit like I know what I'm doing?
No.
Of course not.
However, what is for certain is that you will join us next time
Next
on the
time.
Heroes of Heterodoxy. Say bye-bye, everybody.
Bye,
everybody.
everybody.